Okay, Mr. J here, part two. Blackfishing. Blackfishing is when white people try to pretend to be black. These are characteristics that white people do. It's a word that was created by some idiot on Twitter. Like I said, white people do admire black people, and they have since the 1980s, 80s and 90s hip hop culture, going all the way back to the 1970s. Blackfishing has been done for years, but 1970s where you got white people used to wear afros in the 70s. But white people used to love dancing the black music, disco music. White people used to dress in black people clothes, use slang words. If you watch TV shows like Sanford and Son, Good Times, you'll see episodes where you'll see are the Jeffersons where black people or white people try to pretend to be black. Are they talking slang? They do admire black people, and black culture has been very popular since the '60s. Since the soul music, jazz. White people do like jazz and they listen to black music, but black fishing, we're talking about modern 2000s. It's something that it's a man-made word it's created. It's a word where usually white people try to pretend, like, try to tan themselves to look black, African American. They sometimes they might go out in the sun to beach. They might lay out in the sun every day for a couple hours to tan themselves a little darker, get a little darker. They don't become dark as me, but they get a little. Maybe they might look. Maybe they could look mixed. Maybe when if they get a good tan, they get way darker. Um, but black fishing is usually white people try to darken themselves. They use makeup to make themselves look black. They use tanning pills to darken their skin to look black. And especially now with black culture, you see like even now I know that a lot of rappers are millionaires. They're like people, they're rappers right now who are like 18, 17, 18, 16 years old who are multimillionaires. I'm like, what are they gonna do with all that money? Now you have a lot of like first in the 1990s. I was born in 1990, so I have history. I grew up with TLC. I grew up with Tupac Shakur. I grew up with Biggie. I remember when they died. I'll get to that. I grew up all '90s. I grew up with Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, all these rappers, TLC, Aaliyah before she died. I grew up all. I have experience. I look young. Yeah, I look about 14, 15 years old, but I'm clean faced. I look young, but I have experience. I grew up in the '90s. I grew up in the 2000s, 2010s, and now, and I've seen. And right now, there are people, rappers who are 18 and have like $5 million. Entrepreneurs already. They're not even 20 years old. These are teenagers. They're not even. They haven't even graduated high school, and they're already multimillionaires. But it wasn't like that back in the '90s, man. Most rappers were in their 20s, didn't become millionaires till their 30s. Now they're people who haven't even graduated high school who are multimillionaires. That's a gift. But like anyway, blackfishing have been is usually what I see a lot of white girls have been trying to darken themselves to look African American because they admire pop music, R&B, Alicia Keys. Look at the black, even Cardi B, who is Puerto Rican, has been trying to look black. She's been trying to darken her skin or make her trying to act black or be ghetto or sassy. They don't want to admit it, but a lot of other women who are white, Puerto Rican, any Native American, they do imitate black women. Black culture is really popular. You got Magoose, all these other rappers right now coming out. So a lot of white people admire black people, and they've been trying. There have been instances where a lot of white girls have been trying to paint themselves black or darken themselves to look black, and a lot of black girls are attacking them. I say, leave them alone. I'm like, sometimes like if they want to darken their if they want to change their race or if they want to darken their skin, that's their problem. Hey, they should most black people should be happy that other races of people admire us and they want to be black, you know. But it's bad the other way around too. Like when black women try to um when black women try to lighten their skin, people criticize them for it. Like you got like little Kim. I'll get to all that, but um what I'm saying is that black fishing is when the okay, black fishing means when white people tan themselves to look another race, or they change their hair to look, or they darken themselves, or they darken their skin pigmentation, or they change their hair to fit in with African American culture.